Hello everyone and welcome to the Oxford Plains Speedway in Oxford Plains, Maine, a 3/8 mile oval here, the shortest track on the schedule of season number 6 for the NSDCA Mountain Dew Custom Series. Race number 6 as well under the lights here, 63 laps of action await us. On the pole, Cordell Smith, a Red Bull Short Track Showdown champion. He knows how to get around these small tracks, but Matt Sladek, more known for being stronger at the road courses, to his outside in second. It's an all Toyota front row in front of an all Pontiac second row with Alex Fletcher and Austin Johnson third and fourth. Zach Rogers, Scott Roush, Kev Shearer, William Duncan in the top 10 as well. But row number 5 sees second in points Jeffrey Finguy, and to his outside, Mikey Yamakaze returning from injury at Road America. We look further back on this grid. We're going to come here. That's the 17th Jacob Rose, fourth in points. Obviously, that race win has slipped a little bit since Road America, hoping to turn it around, especially having that bottom line in qualifying. That's going to be important. But further back, we take a look here. Patrick Smith, sixth in points, starting deep in the field. Daniel Cobbs starting deep in the field. Vince Freeze, fifth in the points. And Cobbs is third as well, but Freeze, fifth in the points, 30th. Today on the starting grid, that's not going to be good for him, but even more importantly, 33rd, Anderson Reed in the 39, last week's winner, and leading the points by 21. So Finguy could have a big gain on his competitors here in the point standings, with the rest of them pretty much down the order, but Duncan and Rogers up the order as well. So we could see a big point shakeup, and definitely no clear favorite yet for the title here in the MDCS. Let's not waste any more time. Crowd here in the Northeast wants to see these engines fired up for 63 laps of action, and let's get them going. Here's your command.
Drivers, start your engines.
We've seen it at short tracks similar to Iowa and South Boston. They are notorious in the MDCS for causing issues, seeing a lot of drivers get together and make contact. We're going to see that here. There's really not a lot of places you can go at this racetrack other than possibly off into the sand or into the retaining wall. Other than that, you're going to want to hug that bottom and not let anybody pass you. But if somebody's in front of you, you might have to move them. Green flag is out. We're underway in the Burnham Boilers 150. Cordell Smith, a massive jump to the race lead here early. Alex Fletcher is going to take second place away from Matt Sladek. Zach Rogers is going to have to see if he can get past the 54 before Sladek can find the bottom. And it looks like he is not going to be able to, but Sladek can't. Seems like he is tight because that car is really walking up the racetrack here early. Smith trying to pull away, but Alex Fletcher right there on his tail in that Chewy.com Pontiac. Too many places to go. They are still all bunched up for third. The top two trying to break away. There's not much of a breakaway you can get, especially at such small of a racetrack, but there will be some as Sladek still trying to make the outside work. I don't think it will. Once Rogers gets past, it'll be his teammate Kev Shearer right there trying to get past him, but Shearer is going to try and possibly look at that high side as well. Still not sure about that move, but at the front, here comes Fletcher trying to pressure Cordell Smith into a mistake. Smith wide off a turn 2, trying to get the run on exit. He can do that as long as Fletcher's not there to the inside to make the pass happen. While it is a multi-groove racetrack, it is not. When you're by yourself, the top side is okay, but you want to be on that bottom, especially when you're around other cars. Zach Rogers, Jeffrey Finguy have gotten past. Ryan Butcher in the 13 this week as caution is out on the racetrack. Something has gone amiss, and that is one of your championship contenders. That's fourth in points. Jacob Rose involved in an accident with the 94 of Preston Emmons. Have to see, be careful with these guys coming back as you run up on the field quickly, and Rose does get some damage. Emmons is going to peel it down pit road, but insult to injury there on the 17 here early. And we're going to take a look, see what happened to bring out the yellow at Oxford Plains. Coming through turns 1 and 2, Ellison gets 3 wide with Emmons and Rose here, and I think James just wants to back out of it, but he can't quite do it. Into the 94-17, they go around into the backstretch wall, and some early damage for 2 dodges here today. Looking back just a little further, on board, James Ellison. See contact there with the 17 already, and then Emmons gets to the inside, and there's going to be nowhere for the 53 here to go, stuck in the middle. We'll get back to the green flag here in a moment. Lights are out on the Pontiac pace car. Race will be going green on lap 12 of 63. Cordell Smith still leads over Alex Fletcher. Then it is Rogers, Finn Guy, Butcher, your top 5. Dusty Neal there in the 64. The only one of 2 Hagen Enterprises cars to make the grid. Then Sladek, Shear, Kyle Corbett, and Austin Johnson, who has fallen down to 10th. Preston Emmons, I believe, no, he has not. He's actually pulled the 94 off, so horrible start to his season, continuing in that 94. Rose remains on the track. We're back green at Oxford Plains. What's going to happen on this restart as Alex Fletcher already gets a good launch and getting to the inside of Cordell Smith? Not wasting any time like he did on the opening launch. Maybe be behind the 67 got him a better start. And it's going to be Alex Fletcher looking to take the race lead away as they come down the back straightaway. He will. Rogers trying to follow through to second. Can't quite do it just yet, especially with Finn Guy there, and especially not now as the caution is out. Boy, Kev Shear leaned on the 13, and he goes around as well. That wasn't the cause for the caution, but more than that, for Kev Shear, who did have trouble, would be Jose Perez, Brad Stover, and they're going to probably slam into the rack. They're going to be all right. Mathis Wells as well. He gets onto the brakes, does a good job in the Hidden Valley 72. But now it's 3 drivers going around, putting the second caution ahead of us here today. Let's get a replay, see what happened here under the lights at Oxford Plains. Coming down here through 3 and 4, Brad Stover at, I believe this is his home race, trying to get past the 35 of Jose Perez. I think just misses his marks in a turn 1, or had a brake issue or something, just really slid through and knocked him in the 35 off. You see Mathis Wells having a hard hit there to the driver's side. We'll take a look at that individually, but those 2 go around, and that puts us under caution here once again at Oxford Plains. Mathis Wells mired at the back of the grid. Watch what happens to the 72. Vince Freeze really slid up, but Casey Mears gets into him, and nothing the 72 could have done. Just 2 drivers getting together. Chain reaction puts him into the wall. Already, though, he was at the back, so won't lose too much in the means of track position, but still not the damage he wants. His teammate, though, Alex Fletcher, remains in the lead of the race. And as we were racing back, Kev Shear is going to get into fellow Toyota driver Ryan Butcher. It's too much speed off a corner exit. Butcher may have been a little bit cautious, not knowing where the caution was, but Kev, that's going to give some damage to those tires, and especially here in a series without pit stops, well, scheduled pit stops at least, that's not going to do him any favors in that 83.
Hey Earl, another cold one?
You got it.
Cool and creamy HVR. You either love it or you really love it.
Well, lights are out on the pace car. It's going to be quick coming back to the restart here. Dusty Neal, for some reason, pit under the yellow. I'm not sure why, but Kev Shear did not lose too much after a spin racing back, because he basically crossed the line sideways. We're back to green, and Alex Fletcher not exactly pulling away too far on that start as Cordell Smith trying to get under him in 3 and 4. I don't think there was contact there, but Fletcher really up the racetrack. And here comes Cordell Smith looking for that race lead back. Sliding up off the corner, there's contact there between the 6702. That could have been disastrous if one of them moved the wheel a little bit, because they could have both been spinning off. Almost contact again off of turn 4. Racing really hard for the race lead. Awesome action here at Oxford Plains. Fletcher trying to make that top side work like he did off the opening start. Couldn't get the lead like that. He had to get to the inside on the first restart. And they make contact once again for the race lead. Cordell Smith doing the best he can to hang on as Fletcher really getting aggressive. Canadian, this is probably the track closest to Canada this series will get to. either this and I-69, and he wasn't anywhere last time out, so he really wants to make sure he can do it nearly in front of his home crowd. And look at this. Back to the inside goes Alex Fletcher, hard racing up the front, and they're still almost hitting each other off corner exit, and almost a corner entry there. Really sideways for the 0-2, but he's going to take the race lead. That was an awesome string of laps for Alex Fletcher and Cordell Smith in front of this field. And folks, I don't think it's over because Cordell is still right there on the 0-2. Looking further back, we won't because the caution's out once more. They nearly wrecked with Butcher coming across the line again, that time with Finn Guy. And I'm not sure what happened back here to maybe Vargas, because Perez and them have taken the caution already. Maybe points leader Anderson Reed was involved. Let's get a replay. See what happened as they are spinning under caution. Bobo Jones, bunch of hood damage. I'm not sure if that's from running into the back of John Dilks or not, because Dilks now has rear end damage. So it's like a misjudgment. Under caution for Bobo Jones. Got some more replays to look at. We're under caution once more at Oxford Plains. Well, team boss Alex Beniaco better look away because it was Scott Roush on the high side. William Tuckett on the inside. Really gassed it up a little too early through turns 4, getting into his teammate Scott Roush, but everybody does a good job of avoiding him in the 21. So minimal damage, but way down the order for Scott. Not where he wanted to be, especially for someone fighting so close to the end of the top 35 to the top 28, excuse me, in owners' points to be locked into these MDCS fields. Then it was a speed misjudgment here for Bobo Jones coming back around. Field all jacked up and nowhere for him to go into the back. And Prima McShane didn't help that any as well, pushing the 77 further into the 68 and causing big hood damage to that Pontiac. Bobo, not a lot of luck this year, sitting 23rd in the point standings. Not what he needed at all. Coming back to you a bit early here under caution at Oxford Plains. We've had a lot to look at and a lot of cautions and some intense green flag racing. So we need to take a moment and cover some of the scope of things that's been happening in this race. Alex Fletcher leads over Cordell Smith, Zach Rogers, Ryan Butcher, and Jeffrey Finguy. Kev Shearer remains in 6th. Then it is Austin Johnson, Mike Cooks into the top 10, as well as Colton Yo and Kyle Corbett. You see there the 77 and the 2 have taken the hoods off from their incident under the caution. Dusty Neal, I was not able to either reach the team or figure out on my own why the 64 ended up pitting. Brad Stovermeyer in the back as well. Neal is also 1 lap down. Anderson Reed, Daniel Cobbs have not made up much ground from what have been relatively clean races for them in the back. Jacob Rose obviously had their incident on the back straightaway, but for that 17 team trying to salvage the most they can, not exactly a short track program there at Kamikaze Motorsports. Scott Roush obviously got sent down the order. Patrick Smith, he has made up some ground in that 97, but only 20th, so not probably optimal for what that CFRO team wants, especially with Emmons down the order, as well as, okay, we will be getting another pace lap. Roger Ray putting together another good day for Cyclone. He's up to 14th in the point standings, higher than Austin Johnson, but where Johnson is, only 2 points separating them. If the race were to end now, Johnson would have that spot over Roger Ray. The other Cyclone Motorsports car, the 30, did fail to qualify today, so Roger giving the runs this team needs to survive. We're going to be going back to racing here on lap 30 of 63, just about halfway in this one, folks. And it has been a thriller so far, but we've seen a lot of incidents. It's been a fairly incident-free MDCS season. Daytona had a few, Road America always has a few, and now we're seeing it here on the short track of Oxford Plains. We're back to green. Let's see what happens. Cordell Smith try and fight for the lead back as Rogers got a little tail happy off of 2. It's going to give Butcher the inside for 3rd. Kev Shearer really walking it up the racetrack. Cordell walking it up the racetrack. Ryan Butcher trying to capitalize, possibly gets 2nd here from that 67 as Finguy trying to work underneath the 9 of Zach Rogers as well. Finguy needs those points, and Rogers could have a big points gain with a bunch of other competitors toward the back. Gonna have to see here, still side by side. Rogers gonna slip back behind Finn Guy. Butcher trying to get second. Finn Guy all over the back of the 13 as well, trying to make up ground, trying to possibly get yet another. He only has one top 5, which would be his win at Las Vegas, but he does have 3 top 10, so it has been a strong season for Jeffrey Finn Guy. As, oh boy, Austin Johnson, Kev Shear really pushing one another there down the back straightaway. That could have been disaster for the 54 and 83 teams. Everybody shuffling on by. Fletcher able to pull away with that battling for second. Ryan Butcher in second. Cordell Smith says, not so fast. I want to keep a top 2 spot. Cordell led the practice session, got the pole in qualifying, trying to do the clean sweep of the NSDCA weekend. I think for the first time since we've had practice or have counted or scored practice in the NSDCA. Can he pull it off today? Alex Fletcher opening up a gap, almost a second here around this short track at Oxford Plains. That is a massive margin. Butcher and Cordell really trying to work each other side by side. They want to be the ones to drive up and fight that 0-2 back for the race lead, and Cordell has it, but Butcher thinking about a crossover into turn 1. He will get there in that 13. Running side by side into the top 10. James Ellison and Roger Ray. Kev Shear possibly his worn tires wearing off as they are 3 wide. That is a little tight. Jesse Turner, a massive move out of that 29 to possibly get past some guys like Mike Cook and others. I think Cook has a little bit of damage. No, he does not. It's Colton Yo. Colton Yo has that little bit of damage for somebody that was in the top 10. It's Duncan. Oh, nearly a mistake out of the 33. Nearly disaster out of the 33. But possibly, is that some of the cause for the caution? Why was he running up there? And Patrick Smith might be at risk of plowing into the field. Yep. Oh, big stack up. Big stack up. Got Roush has damage, Hagen does, and Anderson Reed has hood damage. More championship issues for him as this track is almost a little bit too small, and these guys just a little bit unaware of where they are going under the caution. And I'm not sure exactly who would have gone around to cause that caution. I'm going to have to take a replay and see what has happened here at Oxford Plains. The night's gone from bad to worse for Jacob Rose here. The 35 and 77 really getting racy there. Underneath the 17. Nowhere for the 17 to go. But off the track and into the wall. Tries to get a turn around, but unfortunately will lose a lap barely at the line by Alex Fletcher. So Cordell Smith, Ryan Butcher not going to be too happy about that as they now have to deal with a lapped and angry Jacob Rose between them and the race leader, Alex Fletcher. Welcome back to coverage of the Burnham Boilers 150 here at the Oxford Plains Speedway under the lights. We've had a development. Anderson Reed and Patrick Smith, they saw get together there under the caution. They are now hoodless. So we've had a lot of championship implications here tonight. Zach Rogers really going to be the only big gainer out of really the whole top 10 in points. William Duncan as well, but Duncan had that went wide. I don't think he lost too much ground, but he has slipped back to 17th. Short track's not his strongest, but there is still enough time, enough laps if we get another green flag run to possibly make some more ground up. Coming around, Alex Fletcher still putting together a solid run for that 0-2 team. Exactly the run they needed. And Fletcher wanting to return to how he did super early last season. He was a race-winning driver, race-contending driver, but fell off as the season went on for TSR, left to go to Smart Motorsports, and it has not been the fastest of starts. 12th in points coming into the day, but this is the run that team needed for some confidence. And for Fletcher, he's out here leading. If he can hang on, we'll have to see what Jacob Rose does as a lap car. Will he be friendly and drift back to the pack, or will he try and race up if there's a yellow and get back on the lead lap? We're back green at Oxford Plains, and it's a slow launch from the 17. Can Cordell get by him? Can Butcher get by Cordell? But we know somebody trying to make a move there would have been Zach Rogers on Finn Guy, but nothing in the 3. Caution back out almost immediately. Cars on the apron trying to figure out where the heck they want to go as there's a spin somewhere. Something happened, but really, I don't know if there was any position changes throughout the field. And honestly, I don't know what happened. I have to get a replay, see why we are back under yellow almost immediately. So, They probably should have just waved off the start, but I don't think Flagman realized until they were underway that Bobo Jones had blown his engine and pulled off to the high side in turn 3, ending his day, and that warranted the caution because now they have oil to clean up on this racetrack. We'll get back to you after they get that done, and we go back green. So a quick caution, Bobo Jones done for the day.
There is an imposter among us.
Not me. I saw you around the vents, though.
Excuse me? You're the suspicious one.
What? Look, we have to work together to complete tasks on this spaceship before the imposter sabotages and takes out the other players. We gotta figure out who it is before it's too late.
I don't even know if our friendship will survive at this rate.
Because you're the imposter. That's it. I'm voting you out.
Oh, whatever. I'll convince you I'm not the imposter when Among Us launches on Nintendo Switch later today.
And coverage of tonight's Burnham Boilers 150 is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes, save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Geico car sitting there in third, Ryan Butcher, team boss for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. It has been an electric season for that team. A new partnership with Shade Burkhart Racing and a switch to Toyota has really helped them out a bunch. They are now race winners in the CRTS and SDCS, respectively, this season with Matthew Brown and Brandon Morris. Also have Diego Yepes in the fold as a strong driver. They've had some good runs here in the MDCS as well. Believe the 13 and 01 are both in the top 15 of MDCS owners points, but neither of them have full-time drivers. 13 has been a rotation this year as they moved away from Mathis Wells in that second car for BGM. And Mikey Amikaze, as we know, got injured, but he returned tonight. Speaking of return, it's Fletcher returning the field to green once again. He gets a good start. What can the field do behind him? As you see side by side back there, Corbett and Ellison can't make a move just quite yet. And Finn Guy is going to throw it in for third on that 13. And there was a position change from last time. It was Austin Johnson getting past Zach Rogers. Just noticing that now. Rose put up high. Here comes Cordell Smith. Right to the back bumper of Alex Fletcher. Will there be a fight for the lead once more? What can Finn Guy do up here in that 79? As there was a big block by James Ellison trying to get down in front of this field. That didn't work. As Rose really getting pushed up now. The damage affecting as Butcher nearly into the side of the 17 trying to get out of the way. Rose knowing better than to screw with this field, but he doesn't want to fall too far down this order, and it is still hard racing up the front. Fletcher liking what he's seeing. He's opening his lead back up once again. Next time by 10 to go at the line here in the Burnham Boilers 150. Fletcher has it over Cordell. Finn Guy is clear. He's going to have his sights all on that 67 now. Butcher forced up high. Austin Johnson to fourth. Rogers looking to get fifth. Rogers is another driver from New England, so this race is going to mean a lot to him. It's been a good qualifying, good weekend so far. What can he do up here? Corbett, though, really pressuring on the back bumper, but probably knows better than to throw it 3 wide. Not sure how the damage is affecting everybody back there like Patrick Smith, Anderson Reed. They haven't lost too much, but they are still at the back. They're not going forward, that's for sure. And that's, even if it's just a handful of points, points will matter at the end of the season. As Rose really getting pushed up again. That time it was by James Ellison. They're all sorting it down. Now Rogers to the high side. Corbett's gotten by him. Now Butcher trying to get back by him. Butcher trying to make up the time he has lost. And now Cordell Smith running down Alex Fletcher. Will it be a battle for the win, or does Fletcher have a gap? Oh, it's going to be tight here because the caution's out. The caution is out for third. Johnson's going to nick Finn Guy. It's Casey Mears has had some sort of issue. He's stuck behind the pace car now, but I think he will pass it. So what has happened? Are they going to be able to... Are they going to have time to get this race back under green? Going to have to see a lot of right side damage to the 66. Skid marks there off of 4. Likely got some help and got thrown into the wall. Similar to what his teammate did in Jacob Rose. So Casey Mears trouble here. Bring out the caution once more as he can't seem to find his way around the pace car, I don't think. Well, has this just ended the race? Coming through turn 4 here, you see Anderson Reed and Casey Mears side by side. Reed's going to come down off the corner trying to pinch that 66 and absolutely take themselves bolt to the wall. A hard hit to the side, and Patrick Smith gets a piece of it as well. That's going to send Mears spinning. Reed's going to save it, but I think Reed would be behind Mears at the line, so I don't think Anderson Reed just did himself any favors there, especially in the garage area, and that's tensions because that's an Anj Auto driver wrecking the satellite team boss, Casey Mears. Co-owner Dylan Jacobs there for Kamikaze Motorsports is probably not too happy with that one, but we'll have to see if this race goes green or not at the end, or Anderson Reed may have just taken himself out of points and possibly his teammate out of the win. But we'll have to see. Will it go green? Will it not? Find out after this. Welcome back to the Burnham Boilers 150. The pace car lights need to go off next time, and it would be a one-lap shootout. Other than that, this race is over. Casey Mears is not going to wave himself around at the end of this field. He will be caught on the tail end of the lead lap in front of these leaders if we go green. That is just another wrench in the scenario of Alex Fletcher trying to bring this race home, or Cordell Smith trying to pull off the weekend sweep, or Austin Johnson and Jeffrey Fingay, maybe even Kyle Corbett if things go insane to steal this race one away. James Ellison. Sixth is going to be Zach Rogers, 7th Ryan Butcher, 8th James Ellison, 9th Roger Ray, and 10th Austin Delgado. And here we go. Pace car lights are out. The wreck is cleaned after what really was just a minor spin. We're going to get back to it. We're going to see this race end under green. It is going to be a one-lap, basically white checker finish. They're going to race it back no matter what happens. Expect these guys to go crazy. How do they deal with the 66? Who's going to bring it home? Green flag back in the air. Who's going to get this done? Cordell doesn't know where to go. Austin Johnson getting to the inside. That might be what Alex Fletcher wants to see, but possibly not into turn 3 if Mears holds him up into the corner. Fletcher's going to get to the inside, and he's going to have it. He's going to have it. Smith with the run off the top. Not enough. Not enough. It was close to the line, but Alex Fletcher has brought it home, and he's going to wreck after the line as they all try to make it into pit road. That totally doesn't happen, but Alex Fletcher has just won this race here at Oxford Plains. Wow. He was able, he just stayed behind the 66 and it worked. It worked. Cordell Smith tried to get something there on the high side right at the end, but it's not going to be the case. Alex Fletcher, Smart Motorsports, go to victory lane at the NSDCA. We saw a wild race there, but a very exciting finish for everybody as this, they're just doing stupid stuff after the finish. But ignore that. Alex Fletcher brings it home for his second Mountain Dew Custom Series victory. Austin Johnson getting a top 5 for the 54 team. That's probably a run that they needed. Jeffrey Fingay coming home in 5th. Those are the points he really needed. Zach Rogers in 6th. That's really going to help him in the points. Ryan Butcher 7th. James Ellison in 8th. Roger Ray 9th. Austin Delgado in 10th. Further down the order, William Duncan comes home 15th behind his teammate Jesse Turner. Sladek started 2nd, fell down to 19th. Further on down, you have Colton Yo slipped to 22nd with his damage. Jacob Rose, that is the wrong thing, because Colton Yo finished 11th. Sorry about that, I accidentally switched to fastest lap, but Vince Freeze 21st, Daniel Cobbs at 22nd, not where they wanted to be in the point standings. Anderson Reed 28th, Patrick Smith 29th, definitely not where they wanted to be in the point standings. And Jacob Rose 31st. Tough day for them, but sees Alex Fletcher does his victory burn out. That will do it for coverage from Oxford Plains. It was a fun one here tonight. I think the fans definitely got an exciting show. That battle between Alex Fletcher and Cordell Smith in the lead for those 5 or 6 laps. That may have been battle of the season here on the MDCS. I'm not sure how you'll be able to top that. Just a wild, wild one. I think the next race, race 7, will be out at Old Spice out in Montana. So, till then, we'll see you next time for the Mountain Dew Custom Series coverage on the NSDCA.